I have something I need to tell you all. I'm the one who's been stealing music for AI companies. I break into the internet late at night, I put all the MP3s into my burlap sack, and then I bring them straight to Mikey Schulman's doorstep. And then he pats me on the head and calls me a good boy. AI companies have allegedly been stealing songs from musicians all over, from the big stars to the up-and-coming starters.
I woke up today to the news that AI has used 74 of my songs to train their models.
I haven't been paid for any of this, and I didn't consent to any of this.
I produce all my music, I write all my music, and I'm competing against the impossible.
But today, I want to zoom into how these AI companies are training their models, how they're getting the music to do it, the problems they're causing, and what can be done about it. Let's lay down the lay of the land, you lay person eating your lays. Companies like Suno and Udio have gained notoriety in recent years for their suite of generative AI music tools. At most, they can generate entire songs with just one prompt. However, in order to build models that can create music out of thin air, they needed material to train it on. Neither company has outright said where they got their training material from, but since their inception, there have been several cases where an AI song will just openly crib from an existing song. Here's one example from earlier this year. Remember those two figure skaters whose routine music had the same lyrics as New Radical's You Get What You Give?
Every night we smash a Mercedes Benz. Every night I smash a Mercedes Benz. Got kids, we got the dreamer's disease. Wake up, kids, we got the dreamer's disease. First we run and then we laugh till we cry. First we run and then we laugh till we cry.
I feel like I'm losing my mind here. These companies are taking lyrics and music and public personalities to create AI models, and for what?
차은우 닮은 친구에게 보내세요. 야, 너 그거 알아? 너 진짜 차은우 닮았어. 계속 그렇게 차은우 닮아줘. 차은우.
This, apparently. I will not mince words. Has been bullshit for a while now. And it doesn't seem like it's gonna end. Some of these AI companies are bringing in millions of users, some of them are raking in venture capital money by the wheelbarrow, and some of them won't stop f***ing emailing me. I'm not working with you people. Die! The reason this problem has come to a head recently is because of this article in The Atlantic by Alex Reisner. Not only is it a great read, you can check it out in the description, but it also allows you to search for any artist in 4 different databases of music. Every artist you can think of is in here somewhere. VeggieTales, 139 songs. AJ and Big Justice, the guys who do the big booms, 6 songs. Your favorite Martian, 59 songs. They've even got Zorodl, the fake blue alien from Eiffel 65's music videos. Someone was like, yeah, we need to train our AI on this. And it's not just music you can look up in these databases. Movies, TV scripts, books, YouTube channels too? Okay, let's see how many of my videos have been stolen by the... Oh. They didn't take any of my videos. They got Fantano. They got Rick. They got Todd. But not me. The defense these companies... But like, can I ask why? I mean, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that my videos were not in these AI data sets. It's a good thing, 100%. But like, why wouldn't you want to use them? You know, they're good videos. I like them. My mom likes them. You know, like why not? Why wouldn't you want to use them? Like what's wrong with you? The defense these companies have stood behind so far is fair use. For the uninitiated, fair use is a doctrine that allows for the unlicensed use of copyrighted material in specific cases, usually when the new work significantly transforms said copyrighted material.
Pretty woman, walking down the street. Pretty woman, girl, you look so sweet.
I've covered fair use before, but it was in the context of YouTubers dealing with copyright claims. In Suno and Udio's case, their argument is that using copyrighted music for the purpose of creating AI models that can then generate entirely new music is transformative and thus fair use. So the question is, do Suno and Udio have a case here? And the answer is, as of now, they might have more of a case than you'd think. Normally, I'd pull from existing rulings in AI music lawsuits to show you why they might have a case. As of now, there are none. But there have been 2 lawsuits between tech companies and authors, and in both cases, the judges decided that training AI models on copyrighted material was fair use. However, these come with huge caveats. With Anthropic's case, the judge said that training with lawfully acquired material was okay, but if the material was pirated, no way bucko. A follow-up case involving Anthropic's potential piracy of books was about to go to trial until they settled. And in Meta's lawsuit, the judge said the decision wasn't about Meta's training with copyrighted material being lawful, but rather the other side not arguing a strong enough case for market dilution. In other words, the authors just didn't argue their case well enough. What does hold true for both cases, though, is the general idea that training an AI model with lawfully acquired material is fair use, even if it's copyrighted and even if no permission is granted from the rights holder. So based on this, if any music company were to go after Suno and Udio and only focus on fair use, they could lose. Of course, the most fun thing about fair use is how each situation is handled differently, and there's no way to know for sure what would be fair use until you go to court. I should also mention that fair use only applies in the US. AI companies still gotta handle scrutiny from other countries that have no comparable doctrine. In fact, the German music group Gemma filed a lawsuit against Suno last year. Good luck, gang! I'm editing this video right now, and reading back through these rulings has me feeling very conflicted about fair use, because it's the same doctrine that allows me to exist and to make my funny little videos. And to be clear, I'm very glad fair use exists and allows me to do this in the first place. But these whole situations with the AI companies and the authors just reveal how double-edged of a sword these cases can be and how up for debate they can be. I guess it's just disappointing that the defense that will likely work in court against these AI companies is about piracy rather than just the simple act of taking a musician's hard work and training it on an AI model without their knowledge or consent. So what can be done? The biggest and most effective way to halt these AI companies is to sue them. And thankfully, there are many music AI lawsuits going around. They're getting flung all over the place. The 3 major labels all announced lawsuits against Suno and Udio in 2024. Since then, Warner settled with both platforms, UMG settled with Udio but is still suing Suno, and Sony is still suing both. Originally, these lawsuits were coming after Suno and Udio's claims of fair use, but they've since shifted to focus more on the piracy aspect. To make matters even more fun and not confusing, the American Federation of Musicians is now suing UMG and Warner for their respective settlements. I didn't even know you could sue someone for settling a lawsuit. And to be clear, some lawsuits being settled does not mean Suno and Udio were in the right. It just means they and Warner and UMG saw more value in striking business together instead of going to court. The next step in determining AI music's legality is coming up quick. There's a key summary judgment in Sony and Suno's case happening this month. So everyone sleep with a spoon under your pillow, or flush ice cubes down your toilet, or whatever superstitions you believe in to make sure an AI company loses a lawsuit. I should also mention the class action lawsuit with independent musicians that is currently in motion. That's being led by attorney Crystal Delgado. You might know her as Top Music Attorney on YouTube. You can follow her channel for more info. We'll see how that goes. While this is all good news, there are still obstacles to overcome. The proof of wrongdoing on Suno and Udio's parts would need to be very concrete. You'd have to prove wholeheartedly, with your whole loyalty, that Suno and Udio stole music for their AI models. You would basically need a video of Mikey Schulman, the CEO of Suno, decked out like me, illegally downloading Taylor Swift MP3s and then putting them into Suno's backend. You might point to the datasets found by The Atlantic as that evidence, but as Alex Reisner points out, there isn't proof that Suno or Udio have used those specific datasets. granted, in a legal filing from their ongoing lawsuit, Suno did outright say that their training data set contains, quote, essentially all music files of reasonable quality that are accessible on the open internet. So, if anything, their data set is way bigger. Plus, it's not like these lawsuits can fully stop these AI companies right now. The legal system can move slowly, and Suno and Udio are still able to do whatever in the interim. While everyone twiddles their fingers waiting for a verdict, bad actors can exploit the system and attack actual musicians. In the most messed up cases, they can just impersonate you. Earlier this year, folk artist Murphy Campbell dealt with someone generating AI music off her original work and then copyright claiming her as if she was in the wrong.
That's AI generated music for y'all, and these are the consequences of using it. So if this looks like a bright future, I'd reconsider.
And that artist's story hits on the biggest problem in this whole situation that not a lot of people have been talking about. The conversation right now has been mostly concentrated between the major labels and the tech companies. Independent artists and groups haven't really gotten a seat at the table. The end result of these lawsuits is gonna impact all professional musicians and possibly even set the tone for how AI is treated in mainstream music for the foreseeable future. The worst outcome to me is that the majors sign deals with Suno or Udio, let their lawsuits burn out, and then just move on like nothing happened. And if that happens, smaller artists will get screwed.
I don't trust these corporations to use anything responsibly. They've proven themselves to be irresponsible about the future of the music industry, about sustainable careers for actual working artists. It's use that's been corralled into a power structure where all money drains to the top. That's what worries me way more.
The biggest thing you can do is just not listen to AI music at all, which, I mean, most people aren't already, so at least we're winning there. While AI music comprises almost 50% of all new music uploaded to streaming services, the vast majority of listens are fraudulent. In other words, bots. But as time goes on, it'll get harder and harder to tell what is fully AI generated, or what's a combo of real and AI. I hate to come off like anything resembling an AI tech bro, but I will admit, AI is getting better at aping human-made music. And we've now reached a point where 97% of people can't tell the difference between real and AI music. If you want to learn how to train your ears and spot AI music out in the wild, check out this video next.